Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Alex.
Happy New Year, Joey. How you been?
Man, I've been good. I feel well rested. You know, I started back at work yesterday.
Yep.
But before that, I forgot all my passwords. I forgot my keyboard shortcuts. That's how you know you took a little break from work.
100%. 100%. Doing well. I will admit the what do you call it? The Friday after Christmas and Boxing Day was very quiet at work. And then you go back for a full Monday, kind of half day Tuesday, Wednesday off, and then you have the most Monday, Thursday ever yesterday. And then
we had no idea. Listen, we had no idea what day it was yesterday, and our clock in the living room died. So for the longest time, we were like, "Oh, it's 2:00," and it was actually like 5:00.
Oh goodness. But no, welcome everyone to episode 8 of Detail Grind Podcast. We took a little bit of a hiatus post Christmas, but well deserved, I think, for both of us. And
speaking of Christmas, I have a bone to pick with every one of our viewers here. We didn't get a single entry into our contest.
You know how many seconds
giveaway.
I put into making that graphic?
A lot of seconds, dude.
At least 45.
Yeah.
At least 45.
I cannot believe we didn't get a single entry. So we're gonna, I don't know, should we should we figure it out live on the air here? Should we regroup, figure out how we want to do this giveaway? Maybe we want pictures of other stuff instead of ugly sweaters.
Just some R-rated photos emailed.
Whatever. Dirtiest photo wins.
Oh, geez.
I'm kidding.
Ooh, that could work. Dirtiest car.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Dirtiest thing you clean with an express wipe. I don't know.
Let's we'll work on it. We'll come up with it before the end of the show. We had Ricky's asking giveaway. What giveaway? We had announced. I don't know, Dewar, if you still have the graphic, but we wanted to see everyone's ugly Christmas sweaters or beautiful Christmas sweaters, and we asked you to email photos in to detailgrindpodcast@gmail.com, and so we could judge them, and there were zero entries.
Unfortunately,
that's okay. Yeah. But it was for $100. I forgot what it was. It was for
$100 It was $100 for Obsessed Garage.
$100 for Obsessed Garage.
Or you could get what do you call it? The Carzilla if you're up in Calgary, or not Calgary. I mean, if you're in Calgary, you can win it too. But yeah, he had a gift for up north too. So it's $150, I believe.
Yeah, for you Northerners.
But yep. But let me see if I can get this graphic up here.
Oh, this guy doesn't even know what's going on. Oh, that's why, dude. It hasn't gone below 70 here yet, living in the tropics. Yeah, I'm ready for the 70s. I think we've got some 60s next week and sunshine. So,
man, I don't know. That's we've had a bit of a deep freeze. I've been struggling because all I want to do is clean my car, but it's kind of too cold or just not working out for me. So
I don't even want to talk about cleaning cars because I had quite the experience this last week. But
I heard
we can talk about that later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm excited about our guest today.
Oh, me too. He's big fan of ours for sure.
I'm a big fan of his.
But let me see. Okay, here we go. Here's the graphic.
Show that bad boy. Look at these seconds that this man put into this. Submit your photo of an ugly Christmas sweater.
Yep.
Look, we even went to after Christmas. We went to December 27th.
Yep. I don't want to edit my photos with AI, so that can just go away. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll figure something out. And but that's okay. Again, we don't want to be the giveaway podcast. We don't need those guys.
It was our first attempt at a giveaway outside of the chat, so this is pretty funny here. Anthony and I realized if you make a show about cleaning cars and you don't actually talk about cleaning cars, the audience shrinks. Go figure. If you guys don't subscribe to the Rag Company's YouTube channel and you don't participate in their live Q&A or even after the fact by leaving a comment, they answer a lot of good questions there. It's like a weekly customer service podcast. How many companies do that?
Not many. Not many. And no, Dane's hair is very real. It's not a toupee. I saw that comment yesterday and I died, but oh well.
They thought his hair was a toupee?
Yes, they did. And
No.
I mean, I don't know if like just because you get a fade cut or whatever if you can
no, that's just haters. When you're
is.
as handsome as Dane, you attract haters. So I can understand.
And I mean, you live on a hill. I mean, you're literally looking down on everything.
He's above. It's like the butter in the fridge, right? Just looking down on everything else.
Mm-hmm. And get the little
who crowned the butter the king of the fridge?
Behind the door, that little where you put your
it's protected. Like it's one of the few things protected, and I don't get it.
Yeah, all kinds of protection this new year for sure. But yeah, I mean, sidebarring a little bit. The reason why I want to get back to detailing is my poor Team Canada was knocked out of a big hockey tournament going on. It's in Canada. Hockey's got knocked out by the Czechs. I mean, granted, the team this year was not great, but I was still hopeful. But the Yanks are still in it. They're playing tomorrow to see if they can move on to the big show. Either which way, a little bit bitter about that. I'm not thrilled about my Canadian brethrens.
It's okay. There's always next year, Alex.
There is. Yep.
Any update of when Rick from Rad Garage will be on the podcast? We're trying. He's a hard man to get locked down and get a hold of.
Yep. And we've reached out. We gave him ample notice. He's like, listen, guys, I'm going out of town.
Yeah.
I mean,
which means his coating's probably going to die because every time this 100%. Man goes out of town, his coating is done.
There's no forest fires right now, so he's fine. It's like, I don't know what it is.
Find those though. He attracts the fires. He might be the arson. Who knows?
Like it's kind of like that situation where you have to put hot on the cup of coffee when you go and get it. Yeah. Because normally when a coating company comes out and says, hey, here's a coating, keep it dry for 24 hours, 48, whatever.
Yeah.
You try to abide by that as best you can. You put a topper on it, but nowhere does it say don't go to forest fires.
Yeah.
And Rick,
don't let ash rest on the surface of your vehicle for days at a time.
The last 2 times Rick's done a coating and I've helped. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go drive in a forest fire area. I think that's the best for me.
He's like a fire chaser.
Yeah. Like there's storm chasers, but there's fire. He's going to ash up.
Yeah. He must get a thrill from it.
Got to. And I mean, that his SQ5 is both the cleanest and probably one of the higher mileage ones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Because I mean,
absolutely.
Like, I don't know what it is.
Thing looks brand new. I don't even think he's got a single rock chip on it.
No, he actually gets them fixed. So,
right away.
Yeah.
I let them build up so that I feel like I got my money's worth.
It's like that meme where it's like right to jail, immediately straight to jail.
Yeah.
For Rick, it's straight to the paint shop.
Oh.
It's an Audi.
He'll repaint for an entire rock chip. I can see that.
Audi owners don't just buy the paint pens. Okay. Like us Volkswagen peasants that were called out yesterday.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like take the car. I'll take your shuttle. Fix it, call me when it's done. Oh, FYI, here's a sports grill to put on too while you're in there.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
but I mean, right here.
Long story short, we do not have a date yet, but he will be hopefully one of our next.
I hope
guests.
so. I hope so. Once he's back in the swing of things, back to his teaching ways, because the kids get 17 weeks off at Christmas for some stupid reason.
Yep.
And he'll be back.
I believe he's recovering from his injury quite well. For any of you that care,
the post concussion syndrome. I hope he was put into concussion protocol at the curling during the Bond spiel.
I don't know what you just said. But
anywho, but you know who does know what they're going to say is our guest today.
I'm so excited,
Mr. B-Town. I don't know. I just made that up.
Now, we don't have an agenda with
we don't.
Brandon. We're just going to, we've all kind of been in each other's shoes with some of the topics that we're going to discuss. So I think we're just going to be able to shoot the shit today.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Cool.
Probably a good plan.
Cool. Good plan. We say we bring him in.
100%.
Let's bring this guy in here. Brandon Purdy.
Bango, bango, baby.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. I'm just dying laughing over here. I'm just gonna laugh the entire time. You guys are telling jokes. That's all you're gonna hear. So.
That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. How's it going?
How's your week going, man? Happy New Year? How are your holidays? And hopefully you got some time off work and stuff.
Yeah, it was good. I'm recovering from 25 Days of Tiersemus.
Oh,
Oh,
unbelievable.
it was,
yeah, I don't know how long
tough.
that's going to take you to recover.
We'll get to that in a minute.
No, things were good. We my side of the family, they're all in Montana, so we went up there
Nice.
and spent some time up there, kind of close to you, Alex. You're a little bit further than me, but no snow.
Yep.
Shocking.
We had a brown
Wow,
Christmas.
no snow.
A brown
It's
Christmas.
very, very odd. Yeah, it snowed on our way back, going back down to Boise, but yeah, it was good. It was good.
That's awesome,
How about
man.
y'all?
That's good to hear.
Yeah, you guys have a
like
good
I
one?
said, I'm good. I had my I had like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 days off or something like that. So that was good. I was casually polishing the Mini Cooper just like in my free time, a couple hours here, a couple hours there, and then I had a very difficult coding experience that left me defeated for a couple days. So other than that, it was a great break.
That's right. I try to take the time off during the holidays, but I'm like, it's when they smack Christmas and Boxing Day in the middle of a week, it makes it super tricky. And it's like, hey, you only got to work a couple days. You really want to take, all this off. So, and there was already a bunch of other guys off. That's the real reason here. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I, did the few days. No big deal. It's pretty quiet.
Nice.
So.
Well, good.
Oh, great, man. Great.
Yeah.
Well, you were pretty popular this last few months on Instagram. I think
I don't know about that.
Hopefully you gained a couple new followers during that
yeah.
time.
Let's be real here, Joey. It wasn't just him. It was, a little bit of Tay action.
It was a family affair from what I've heard.
Affair, 100%. 100%. How Brandon still has the voice is beyond me.
You could hear like the optimism on day one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to go. And then you could hear the defeat in day 25 while still wishing everyone Merry Christmas.
Oh, dude. I went back and I listened to all of them because I was going to put them all in my story after the fact.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. But I was like sighing in some of them. Like, all right, guys.
Yep. I could tell. I could tell that there were like,
yeah.
But for people that maybe just know you from your Instagram, let's like go back a little bit. Like who is Brandon Purdy? Where'd you come from? Where'd you grow up? Why do you like washing cars? Do you still play football? What's going on?
Yeah. The football thing blew my mind. Like there are professional photographs of a fairly high level of the pigskin toss.
Yeah.
The pigskin toss. I like that.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I was born and raised in Calais, Montana. That's where my family's from. And I went to the University of Montana to get a degree in business. But I really went for football. I could have played at a lower tier, so I kick. I'm a left-footed kicker. That's the only reason why I got a shot, is because the ball flies different from a lefty.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a big like Bill Belichick fan, but he only recruited left-footed punters. That was like a big thing. The ball, it spirals down differently. So
dang,
the ball definitely spirals differently when I throw it with my left hand too. So
it probably goes like this.
It tumbles a little bit.
But man, the left-footed, that's a huge advantage, because I mean I don't follow football whatsoever, but I mean you got to say the left footers are probably in the 10%.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. So not related to Brock. But I should probably do some research. I'm sure we're like,
you got to be in the family tree somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually walked on at the University of Montana. I probably could have gone and taken offers to like go play NAIA schools, but it's kind of a dream being a Grizz. So, and I didn't even get a walk on in the fall. They're like, come walk on in the fall, and then they're like, actually, we don't have the spot for you. You can try out in the spring when we're required to hold an open tryout.
Oh, jeez, it's like a pity invite.
Yeah. So,
Yikes.
and that tryout is really all physical. So it's winter condo, and they just kind of cut people every day. They kept me on because I couldn't really show them what I could do running around in the snow. So
Mhm.
yeah, I got to walk on with 6 other kickers. And
Sweet.
Oh,
I
dang.
made the cut, which was good. Played, the second half of 2016, and then had a really good year in 2017.
Mhm.
Tore my quad in 2018, and then played
Uh,
in 2019. But it was good. Yeah, my last kick in 2019 put me at 200 points, so that was fun.
Nice.
wow.
But
That's
yeah, I
nice.
just
Way to
was
end it.
yeah, and I'll say this: I was just a place kicker. I didn't punt. I didn't do kickoffs. I didn't have like too big of a leg. Our
Mhm.
punter, my buddy Eric, he was our kickoff guy. But yeah, so it was
You
fun
still earn that
kicking
uniform
the
though. Like that in my
Mhm.
book,
right.
that's what matters.
Yeah, it was fun. So that's a little bit about me. I met Taylor, my wife. She's the one that's done a couple of the voiceovers. I met her at the end of 2019. Um, I moved out to Medford, Oregon to take a job working for my uncle, but then I wanted to kind of get into the corporate space and the
Mhm.
corporate world. And then Taylor and I got engaged. We got married, moved back to Boise, and then I jumped around to a couple different companies here in the valley. But yeah,
Nice. So you have
cars.
a 9 to 5 that's outside of
Yep,
detailing.
exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I just got poached by Simplot. They're a potato company.
Nice.
Cool. I
I
like potatoes.
was yeah. So I'm a big fry guy. I got my Whataburger Yeti
Ooh, that's a
Oh,
nice
set up
cup right
for you.
there.
See
dang.
that? Yeah, it's
Where's
got some
Carlos at?
Fresca.
Carlos gonna
I'm
offer you some money for that thing.
Yeah.
I haven't
So
had a Whataburger, but I'm pretty sure some people will say that's probably the best thing to come from Whataburger. But there's the In-N-Out fans, the Five Guy fans, the
mhm,
you name it burger place fans. But I like the merch. I love it.
I don't
yeah.
discriminate. I just you give me a burger, I'm gonna eat it.
That's right.
But yeah, I do the 9 to 5,
Yep.
Monday through Friday. We're actually in office 4 days a week. So,
Mm.
and I'm out in Star, Idaho, so like 20 miles outside Boise.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I just learned this like a month ago. I live like half a mile from Jimmy at the rag
Oh,
company.
dang.
Oh
So
wow, cool.
yeah, we
That's
were
pretty
dropping
wild.
some stuff off for some church friends, and I'm like, GR Corolla? Wait, G Technic license plate cover? Wait,
Yeah.
what? So,
When
yeah.
That's so
when
funny.
they announced that you were one of the Grambassadors, and
Yeah.
I obviously, like, I check out the competition, right? Like I've
Mhm.
kept my ear to the streets, and
Mhm.
when I saw him doing curbside pickups and
Yeah.
just local things with TRC, I was like, that's it. I'm gonna throw the hat in. Like
Yeah.
that, I'm
You're
done.
done.
There's no chance. So I immediately I was like, I don't want to like this guy. I don't want to like this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's the enemy. But then look at him. He's too likable.
Like I don't think I've seen Brandon not smile.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
that's
You could
kind of
hear it in those voiceovers.
but Joey, it's funny you mentioned that because back in my day,
Yeah.
when I was part of the Q1, back when they were doing the quarters of the Grambassador program in 2021, Joe was from the Boise area as well, and he would do the curbside pickups and just be like, "Yo, wash my freaking Jeep at the Ray company," and I'm just like, "I'm done. I'm toast."
Yeah.
But he was in one of the I think it was the Navy or something like that. So he would only be in Boise for a short period, and then he'd go back to like San Diego and all that. So it was every few weeks. It's not like Brandon where he's going every 8th minute to TRC to get
Yep.
something. But
Yep.
it was kind of the same thing. But then Brandon, you were also able to leverage the rag company to actually do some stuff with the goat Lucas. So kind of
Yeah.
explain how that went down. Like, how did you coordinate that?
Yeah.
Because that has got to make Joey jealous and the other contenders in this
I saw the
sponsorship
post.
program.
And I was like, do I want to share it? And I was like, no, I don't want to
report
share this is no, yeah, report.
inappropriate.
Report.
But yeah, no, it was awesome to see.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. So when I had my like first call with Anthony, we
Mhm.
kind of talked a little bit, and he kind of extended his hand like, hey, if you ever want to like swing by, we could do some stuff. I'm like, okay, like, can I like come hang out? And so I actually hit him up. We did a tour. I didn't film any of it. I kind of just wanted to like take in the whole
Yeah.
tour, meet everyone, which was really, really cool. But when we parted ways, Fisher was like, "Hey, so like you want to bring cars in every once in a while? Come on in. Like
Sweet.
you just let us know. We'll get you on the schedule." And I'm like, "Can I do like my curbside pickups? Like I feel weird doing it." And he's like, "Yeah, you could just like come unbox things. If you want to use some of us, we'll be in your videos. You can do whatever you want."
That's
And
very awesome of him to offer that, like
yeah,
especially being local.
seriously. And that I like, and I'll be honest with you guys, like I totally understand like being here is a significant advantage.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
like I don't have to pay for shipping. Like first and foremost, that's huge.
Yeah.
Right. And then I literally drive past the rag company twice a day because it's my commute to work.
Yep.
I work
Doer's
downtown.
dream.
So yeah, and it's right next to MVP. So shout out Connor at MVP Detail Supply.
Yeah.
What a
So,
great human being. Let's just say that much.
Super, super cool. Yeah. So it was a huge advantage. It was super fun. I didn't want to abuse it though. Like I kind of told myself like I want to go wash at least one car. Like I want to go there and wash a car. And as far as like the curbside pickups, like those cost money. So I was like spending my own. And I was like, by like the fifth one, I'm just like, I gotta chill. And Taylor's like, "Hey, you gotta chill.
This can't be a weekly thing."
Yeah. And I wanted to be, I'm like, oh, what if I spend like $10 each week? Like, what about, you know,
a pack of towels or something?
Yeah. You get your phone and you're laying down next to your pillow and you're $80 later and you go to Shop app and you just hit send and close it. And it happens every time. So yeah. So yeah, those didn't last super long. I think I did about 6 months maybe, but super fun. They were so awesome. It's so cool to like be there, right? And like to see everyone that's behind scenes that you know about or that you've maybe seen on camera like a couple years ago. But then for them to be like, "Hey, I really like this video," it's like so cool because you don't interact with them online.
Yeah.
You have the rag company. I mean, obviously you have Dane, maybe Jimmy pops on, or maybe All Day Anthony pops on, but like otherwise, like everyone behind scenes, they're not really interacting with your stuff. So for them to be like, "Hey, like you're doing really good. Like you should do this or that." That was cool. Like I was.
Yeah,
like,
I've gotten a couple messages from Nate, and I was like, at first I was like, I didn't even know Nate followed me, and then you know he's liking some of my things. I was like, that's pretty cool, dude. Like especially coming from such great creatives as them. You know what I mean? Like that. I think that adds to the compliment.
Yeah, big time.
But let's take a quick step back. Like we went straight to the rag. But so where did the detailing thing come from? Did you have a passion for it? Like when did the business start? Like how does that work?
Yeah, so I grew up in a pretty crazy like car family.
Okay.
My dad, I kind of lived through him growing up. So he had an '05 E46. He had a C5, the last C5, Z06, the Le Mans edition. And that was an '04. He had an Audi and then an SS somewhere around those years, but he had this '74. I think it's a Dodge Satellite or a Plymouth Roadrunner. I might be mixing those up. They're basically the same thing. But he had this thing that was a single stage paint, and I remember when I got my license, he'd let me drive it, and it was a 3-speed automatic, blueprinted 340, and that was like my car growing up. And you know, it was a horrible paint. I remember going to Napa and getting, you know, rubbing compound and the little, you know, the McGuire's foam and just rubbing.
I thought you were going to say you went and got a $300 paint job.
No.
The Mako special.
Yeah. He put these sweet the chip Foose wheels on, and I just remember like that was my start. The '74 Roadrunner. So that's kind of my first passion. And then in college, I had a 550 BMW, the X Drive. And turbos went out and they replaced those, but it was kind of a lemon. But yeah, so that's kind of
don't give Anthony any fuel to these broken German vehicles.
Okay? I know. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, my dad's got some that run really well. So yeah. No, yeah, that in college I started, gathering my stuff in my dorm. I'd have a little caddy. I would not touch anyone. That was really for me. I think that's kind of fueled the business is that I had this passion before it became like a hustle, right?
Yeah.
I think we see that a lot. Detailing is a super low cost of entry.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it. You can go to Walmart and literally have a mobile setup without power and water, but you're there, right?
Yeah.
Which
And
I think
it's
is
your
awesome.
passion because like at least for me, when someone asks me to clean their car or shows me something on their car, and I'm just like gung ho about cleaning it for them and not thinking about the financials of it. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking about improving that car because like nothing makes me feel better than seeing a clean car that I've touched drive down the street or in a parking lot or something like that. So then once I realized, money can be made from this, it was like an entirely different mindset of how to do this.
Yeah. Joey, you say the whole like watching, isn't that the best? I think, if you've detailed cars or you've taken clients, when you're sitting there, because I think we're all from home, right? We're all detailing from home. So when you're sitting there and they drive away and the sun's hitting it, that is like, you cannot help but smile.
Yep.
Like it's the best feeling.
I'm usually getting like a video of them leaving and then they'll stop and be like, "Oh, did you need something?" I'm like, "No, keep going. I just need the footage."
Dang it. Yeah.
And then
drop the gear. Let's go.
And then you see that spot on the tire that you missed, or like there's some compound still on the panel. It's like, hey, I'm going to delete their number. I have the money. Goodbye. Thank you. Right? But yeah, no, that's it's so rewarding to aim for a delivery at like golden hour or when the sun is just hitting right. I mean, chef's kiss if anything. But no, I think I definitely good on you for being able to kind of understand like, hey, like you can kind of start with just the basics and then again just kind of it's amazing too. So like when you were in your dorm and had the little caddy, did you have a lot of people like come up to you and say, hey, like the old adage of, hey, my next, or were people pretty reserved, or how did they treat it?
The my next thing I think starts with everyone. Oh my goodness, how many times do we hear that?
Weekly.
But with college it wasn't as much. It was more when we got married and I started taking it much more seriously.
Sure.
We got married in 2020. And if people don't know, if you haven't looked, I'm pretty new to like the detailing industry as a whole. Like I didn't start taking clients till like the very beginning of 2023. Okay. Like obviously I'd worked on families' cars between when we got married until that point. Just trying to perfect it. That was one of the things with it being, a secondary source of income, was I was very timid to just go to market with it being like half built, right?
Yes.
I was like, if I was touching your car, like, okay, what can I pay you? $20. I'm like, why? I'm like, because I'm not ready yet.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
So that was one of those things. But yeah, again, I'm extremely new. I'll admit this, right? And we have someone here in the chat, Adrian. It was one of the things that I bonded with Adrian over, was I started with buckets of chemical guys.
Yep.
I bought their bucket kits, and when you buy them, you think you're getting this crazy deal. A lot of it's just ready to use, somewhat mid chemicals, right?
Yeah.
And I remember getting Ulix and then taking off the chemical guys logo on it.
Wow, I didn't think to do that.
Yeah, so Adrian had something on his story admitting, like, hey, like to his followers, like, hey, I took my, and I'm like, dude, and I messaged him like, I'm doing this right now.
That's awesome.
And I sent him a picture of me taking it off. And of course, it's with like a premium brand, KCX. I thought that was funny. Kind of came full circle.
That's funny.
But I look at like my chemical guys buckets. I have like 4 of them. And it's like, if it wasn't for them, like I wouldn't have gotten here, right?
Yeah.
And so I think paying homage to those brands that kind of got you there, like Turtle Wax. Like I have Seal and Shine up there. I don't use it ever. But
I put my TRC stickers over my chemical guys logo, but you can still see it from the inside. So I know my roots.
Yeah, and like I remember, and again, I started with chemical guys too. I think a lot of people that if they didn't start with chemical guys, either they didn't have the internet or they're lying. That's one of the two scenarios. And all of the videos were great. You know, let's not deny
Shout out
that
to Greg.
you either watch those videos, you watch Larry Ammo NYC, you watched XYZ else, and it was a great starting point. Yes, they had 1,000 of each thing, but there was something for everybody for every single scenario. And I remember when chemical guys first hit Amazon Canada, and I'm like, oh snap, like I don't have to go to the store to buy stuff that's like not an independent retailer. Like this is super cool. And you know, Mr. Pink was just a fun soap. The Honeydew Snow Foam was a fun soap, and Butter Wet Wax was hot garbage. Jet Seal didn't do anything. So, but you learn from those mistakes, and you know, and not even just mistakes, but as lessons learned. And it's you start somewhere, but I think that's really important is that you understand, because if you start with the best, that's kind of boring. You know, you kind of have to go through the BS first to be like, okay, what else can something better do? And you know, you kind of have to, you know, cut your teeth or grind. Funny enough, to really get where you are. And I think just I'm almost to a point now where the products are almost relevant to the people, because the people are what's really great. You know, just being able to meet the people behind the great products. Where I mean, you touch on Ulex. I mean, that stuff will take, you know, years off your life if you're not careful. I mean, that's the freaking hits. And I mean, it's so darn good. But I mean, there's so many so good products that there's a lot in the space, and that's nothing to fret about. And I think you just kind of gotta pick something, enjoy it, have fun.
Yep.
Totally.
Absolutely. So you started doing the home thing. You got the frame built up, you got the walls up. So you start charging more than $20 detail now?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I started taking clients in like April, May-ish of 2023.
Nice.
And we were renting in Meridian. We're still renting now here in Star. We've been in this home for about a year and a half, but that was a 2-car garage in Meridian, which it's tough to detail out of a 2-car garage. And you have a family, and you have like garage things like storage and whatnot. It's
I have
tough
a
to do
1-car
that.
garage. It sucks.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm a big guy, so yeah.
I think a 1-car garage is a generous statement, even with that space.
Yes.
Yeah. So we moved out to Star. I think all I was looking for was a 3-car garage. We really like our home, but it's now 3 cars, and there's not a single thing in my garage that is like a normal person item to have in your garage. It's really just a business. So it's all detailing. We pay for a storage unit down the road where all of our other stuff is. So I make a lot
where your
of trips.
actual garage stuff goes.
Yeah. So we really love Star. When you guys come out here, you might have to come visit. I think we might have to steal the Civic if we want to do a video on that thing. I think it'd be fun to detail something.
You know what we do? We take the new unknown vehicle that nobody knows about, nobody's going to spill the beans about. That's what you take.
DM me if you want to know what it is.
Don't DM me. I'm too selfish. Joey, leave the leaks in 24, man. Like, come on.
You're right. What?
No leak.
Zero leak. I think the leak was in 2023, to be honest.
Could be.
Funny.
But what's in the past in the past. Yeah. So is there a so you're kind of just your local people? Like, do you have a lot of maintenance related ones that, I mean, obviously I think, you know, speaking on behalf of Joey as well, is that can you kind of pick and choose the clients you have and when you do the stuff, you know, because you're not solely dependent on it.
Yeah. So a little bit about the Treasure Valley here. It's really overran with auto car washes. So the tunnels are everywhere, which I think is sometimes a good thing for detailers. But I'm actually part of a group chat with all the mobile detailers here in the Valley, which is weird because I'm not mobile. I would like to be mobile maybe someday. I'd like to have that option, but There's about 20 of them in the chat. So it's people look at the industry here or the market here and they think it's pretty diluted. But I would say that there's a ton of opportunity. So my thought when I started taking people was I don't necessarily want to only do the really dirty details for cheap because a lot of mobile guys do that to make a quick buck. I'd like to be more premium, right? And so I raised my prices to maybe price some people out and only offer, my light or my light exterior. That's what I call it, LITE. My light exterior is a detail. It's a full-on detail. It's not just a wash and wax that people do. When they say wash and wax, it's washing and then spraying a spray wax. We all know that. But yeah, I think that was kind of what I wanted to build. And then another part of it was the education piece. Every new car that comes through my garage, I give them 4 samplers, 4 towels, a brochure of what everything is. We're looking back at that too. I'm like, we need to start tracking this marketing dollars. You see my giveaways. I just gave everything away that Rack sent me. But
gotta have an inventory Excel sheet or something like that.
Yeah, straight up. But
I mean, that's something that sets you apart, right? Like if I went to a business and I could see that they took that extra care and that extra step, that instantly makes me go, yeah, I'm coming back. Like this is different. This is different than what I'm used to.
I remember when Justin Dean, who's now obviously with KCX, Downtown Detail, he was up in Bozeman, Montana. Killer guy, amazing human being. And I remember when he was Grambassador back in 2020, he would take one of the car wash towels, which are a really underrated towel. If you haven't tried the 16 by 27 car wash towel, they're phenomenal. But what he would do is you take one and then fold it ever so precisely to then tuck a business card inside of it and then leave that in the cup holder for the customer.
The whole car wash towel in the cup holder?
The whole car wash towel. Like,
wow.
Like that Mythbusters episode and they fold a piece of paper like 8 times and it, can do whatever. So he manages to fold that, but it's a very neat, cute little package. And I remember I was telling a local detailer here, Savvy Detailing, who's also a Grambassador back in 2018, that, you could do that. So she started doing that with some, I think she's using a smaller towel, obviously.
Yeah.
And I remember Jamie doing it with eaglets.
The eaglet,
The eaglet's a fantastic towel to give, an 8x8, make it nice and simple. But like I've seen people do business cards and candies, just candies or just a towel. But it's something. It's a personal touch that. It's much nicer than like those little cardboard floor mat covers that most people do, but then they stop at that.
Yeah. And like Sydney said, she does the express wipes in a little baggie with her company logo on it. Like that's something that was handcrafted for this client, right? That there's thought put into it and intention put into it. And I think that sets a lot of businesses apart when you add those as part of your offerings.
Yeah, I went live on Instagram and I was actually sharing that because on one of my lives I was bottling all of my samplers.
Yeah.
And one of the questions I got was like, aren't you just like giving them stuff to clean their car and they're just not going to come back to you now? And like, dude, of course, like my whole point was to arm them and to educate them as far as clients go, right? You asked the question, Alex, how many are maintenance? I have like 3 maintenance clients that are monthly. I don't have a crap ton of clients. I do this on the weekends. It's not like my clientele list is massive, but I think when you show that care of like, hey, I want to show you how to take care of your car.
Yeah.
Because not everyone can spend a maintenance rate could be anywhere between $80 and $90, Yeah. That's a lot of money on a monthly basis, even though it's a maintenance rate. So I think arming them with something just shows like, I want you to love detailing as much as I love them. And I feel like sometimes I'm almost over the top where you're like giving them too much and it's like
you're like a drug dealer. You want them to come back.
Right.
I'll give you the taste, but I'm the supply.
Exactly.
But I mean, there's some people because it in essence, it almost makes your job easier if you know that they're going to be coming back.
Yes.
That you know that they're using the correct products, that they're not going to use a Clorox wipe on the interior of the car to potentially dry something out and damage it. I think the education is huge because the cars nowadays, especially people that like to purchase newer vehicles on, let's call it a 5-year basis, vehicles are really, really expensive now. And I mean, it's something that, if you have a $100,000 truck, for example, or an $80,000 SUV or what have you, you want to take care of those materials and not damage them. I couldn't imagine, let's call it wrecking a steering wheel with something that dries it out and having to spend probably $1,500, $2,000, like who knows how much money on a new steering wheel. And I think there's educating, but also making your job easier so when they do come back, it's, the little bit of crumbs on the floor, and you're not getting the, ground in chicken nuggets and glitter from kids and minivans and stuff like that. I think that the more that people can kind of take care and do more light cleanings than one severe heavy, like you can do the heavy and it's like, hey, you can do this to take care of it yourself as well. If it does get a little extreme, I'll be there for you. But just so you're aware, this is what a good product does. And it's not just vinegar in a bottle or pledge or something silly.
Yeah. Like when I try to treat every car that I detail as if it were one of my own, in the sense of I want this to be as easy to clean the next time. I want to set this up for success the next time. Like I know they're going to be happy with it, hopefully, but really it's a selfish thing. Like I'm putting a sealant on these wheels real quick that you didn't pay for because I want to be able to clean them quicker next time. Like that's what's going through my mind when I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I find myself like, oh, I have all these sealants. I know you didn't really pay for 6 months.
Yeah, but I don't want them to go to waste, right?
You're my test dummy. So that's right. And actually, that's where I think, I'm sure you guys do that too, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna try this out. Will you let me know like the properties when it rains next week? Send me some pictures.
Send me a picture or something. Yep.
Yeah, they start becoming obsessed with it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then it gives me feedback to say, I'm actually going to start using this product on all of my, Premier exteriors and so on and so forth. But yeah, it was good.
He would be a good drug dealer. Look, he's like, try this out. Let me know how you like it. Give me an update. And
they have to
keep coming back.
I'm selling potatoes, right? So I gotta be able to.
Hey, in my household during the holidays, potatoes are a drug. Okay, like that's people fight over that.
Those Idaho potatoes hit different. I'll tell you what.
So how did this whole thing lead to Grambassador?
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Hunter, the bearded hunter.
Heck yeah!
Ooh.
What
a hunter!
What a certified beautician that man is.
Yeah. So I think he's in here too. So I'll probably remember this.
I did see him.
So I didn't create my Instagram until 2023, somewhere around there, like April, May-ish. And that's really when I started learning about all these different bigger brands out there. I had seen the rag company. I knew that they were local, which was cool. But as I started following them, I saw him towards the end of 2023 doing the showdown and everything.
Yep.
And I kept asking all these questions, and I saw that the applications were opening up, and I didn't really want to apply. And I remember just reaching out, and I look at someone like him on this platform, any of the Grambassadors, and I was scared to reach out, because it's like when you're that little, you look at them like as celebrities.
You really do. And I'm not tooting my own horn. I mean, I'm from the same position of trying to reach out to Hunter or Jamie or even Dewar. It was these people are way above me. They're not going to message me back.
Yeah. And I think it was maybe your trimester, Joey. That was my first application.
Okay, cool.
I remember I didn't get picked, and I reached out. I'm like, dude, this is so stupid. Why am I doing this? He's like, dude, stop. Just keep being consistent. Yep. And he was so kind. I actually, when I got my job at Simplot, it was right around the time with when you guys were here for TRCMA, and I was able to stop by real quick during that rainstorm after everything had finished up. I was texting him. I'm like, hey, are you here? I just want to say hi. Yeah. I got to meet him once. I didn't get to go in and meet everyone, but it was outside in the pouring rain, and that was really cool. So he was kind of the first person that I really, really looked up to. His Towel Tuesdays, that was so killer, right? It was hard not
the moment you started doing it, I was like, this seems familiar but
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, that's straight up. I was like, I'd love to talk about a towel every single week. I'm just like,
Yeah,
why don't we just do this like big thing for Christmas? So yeah,
that's
there's
awesome.
definitely some inspiration there.
Well, let me
There's
say, I
Um,
think you
yeah.
may have like dodged a bullet not being chosen
Mhm.
in the first trimester
Yeah.
because Alex can attest to this. Like
Mhm.
you have to keep it up the entire year. Like
Yeah.
if you want, like you don't have to, right? Like you just stop, whatever.
Totally, you
But
don't. Yeah.
if you want to maybe have a dog in the fight, you've got to keep it up the entire year. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So who knows? Maybe it was a blessing.
Yeah.
That was one
Yeah.
of those things, Joey. I actually thought about that when I got it and when I was selected, which was just yeah, we'll talk about that later. But I just remember looking back and seeing you putting things up and like Fanatic over where does he live? Fanatic is
Yeah,
it Fanatical?
I think he's UK. Yeah.
Yeah, over in UK. I just was like, dang, it would have been so nice to like have it all year. But then I was like, wait a second, you can make like the lasting impact, like the final.
Right.
Exactly. You're the one that
Yeah.
people
So
remember.
yeah. And then I was like, well, maybe I would have done this for the entire year. And I was like, there's no way anyone can pick this up. It is
It's
so
tough.
hard.
It's
And
tough.
that's something I want like people to know. And I'll be
Yeah.
honest with y'all, like it is difficult
Mhm.
to try because my whole goal was like, I'm gonna be in this program for 120 days or so.
Yep.
Can I post 120 times?
Yeah.
And that was really hard, like trying to balance your life too.
Mhm.
Having a day job, having it on the side, and then like putting out content.
Yeah.
Batching content is really hard to like batch content as well.
Yeah.
Like to
Yep.
be creative. I have one car on Saturday. I need to somehow come up with
I
five
need
unique
7
videos.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of something
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
tough.
difficult. Yeah.
It's like a lot of planning, right? Like I could be sitting here at my desk and go, oh, I'll just go pick up this bottle or whatever and take a picture of it, and boom, there's my content for the day. But that never like feels like truly authentic if I haven't used the product, right? Like I could just pick up something that was sent to me and be like, this is great, but that doesn't like
Yeah.
that doesn't do it for me.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough to like to like plan it out, and there's sometimes like I've talked about it time and time again on many different podcasts, but I sometimes just want to go out there and not take my phone or my camera out.
Yeah.
I just want to clean the car
Mhm.
and get out of my head. But then
I
I'm like,
hear
no,
you.
this is
Yeah.
like the lighting's really good, like like it's a disease.
I need to finish this
That's
now so we can drive away.
Exactly.
That's
But
great. Yeah.
but the timing though, it's so true that I think all three of us have kind of experienced that. And Brandon, I mean, your time with the Grambassador program, I certainly believe that you're one of the front runners for sure. I have zero say in who wins this competition. I know I do not envy Anthony whatsoever and the team over there at the ride company. And I remember my first time applying was actually in 2020 when Justin ended up getting in, and then Rick got in, and I'm like, I had to tell Rick.
I always forget Rick was a Grambassador.
I know. I had to tell Rick all the towels. It was the cutest thing ever. But I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't get in 2020 because Justin did such a good job.
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled that he won. And then in 2021, when I got in the first quarter, I'm like, heck yeah, man, this is freaking amazing. And then I'm like, oh, it's January and I should probably do this the entire year. So I basically committed the entire year. And I remember when like the package showed up, it was like super below freezing. Everything inside was frozen. And so I had to like kind of let it thaw out, make sure it was all good. I'm like, I don't care if it's ruined. I'm still going to use the stuff. And it was such a grind because my quarter, I mean, I will say Q1 2021, I think is the best quarter to ever exist. And I mean, we had the likes of, Lex Garage is now with Viper. I mean, we had Matt with Dabbler, who's, also at TRC
that is a
now.
pretty star-studded lineup.
I mean, it was pretty wild, but Anthony was really kind of after the photos at that time. Now I think he's migrated to more reel specific.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Brandon and I mean, even Charleston detailing, my freaking goodness, the amount of reels and the quality content coming out of that. It was a lot easier, I think, for me with the photos. Cause the thing that I kind of ran with was like the color theme. Was every month I would do a color, kind of adjacent with what TRC was doing. And I'm like, hey, this makes sense. I can easily do this, but I would have to buy something orange because I didn't have something that was orange, you know. And I'm like, okay, I can only do bead maker so many times.
Yeah, exactly.
like, you know, but yeah, I think that I think it was something that, I mean, obviously then it worked out, and I'm very thankful that it worked out the way that it did. And
you're royalty in my eyes.
yeah, well, I appreciate that. And I mean, it's so overwhelming when you get that initial package, but I think the group chat's one of the best things. And
Yes.
if you're fortunate enough to meet these people in person, I mean, that just takes it over the top. I mean, Brandon's, 20-minute drive away from the right company, seeing all these amazing people. And I would just love to have every one of them on camera in some form. Obviously, not all of them are comfortable, but they all just work so hard, and seeing the behind the scenes is just so phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, just everyone there. I mean, I don't think there's you walk around and nobody says like, what are you doing here? It's always like, hey, I know you, or like they'll reference you by your name. And I'm like Brandon said, it's like, hey, I've seen your videos and all this, and you're kind of taken back. It's like, I'm just a dude on the internet, man. Like, that's all I am.
It's a wild trip.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you get chosen in the third trimester. Did you apply in the second again, or were you like,
Of course.
okay, so you applied each one?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what was sad? When you check the box, everyone that's applied knows this. You have to check where you're at in followers. I'm just like, some point, I'll like maybe one of these days when I apply, I'll be able to check because the first box is 0 to 500 followers, and then the next one's like 500 to 1,000. I never was able to. That was one of those things where it's like, I'm applying for the third time and I haven't progressed. But then you learn.
I think I was under 1,000,
yeah.
and I'm close to 2,000 on Instagram now.
Yeah.
So like, it's a slow but steady grind, and I'm here for it. So you get chosen in the third trimester. Did you jump up and down when you got the text?
Run around the block?
Yeah, it was the day my sister-in-law got married.
Oh, great news all around.
Yeah, and I actually had my notifications muted that day for Instagram. Like I had to go into Instagram and I paused everything. Yeah. I was still putting out content, trying to get noticed. And I remember my wife, Taylor, she's helping set up the reception. And I look at my story and I see that the rag company they viewed my story. And I was like, what? Like, you don't follow me? Because they didn't follow me at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I text her, I'm like, hey, rag company is looking at my story, and she didn't respond. And then I look, I'm like, I have a DM, and I look at my DM, and they messaged me like 2 hours ago. I'm like, oh my gosh. Which I was scared at first. Like, was I supposed to respond within a certain amount of time?
Yeah. Or it's taken away.
Yeah, straight up. Well, they say that they post like, we're gonna announce it tentatively. I'm like, did I just lose my shot? But no, that was such a fun day because we were already together as family. I couldn't tell anyone because it was my sister-in-law's day, like I couldn't just be like, hey guys, I show up to the reception. Yeah. So it was so exciting. And then the phone call with Anthony, I lived a block away from Anthony in our house in Meridian. And I met Anthony.
Oh, so he called you on like the 2 cans and a wire.
No.
Okay.
Well, so I was already living in Star, and when I got selected, but when he called, I'm like, hey, I have to talk to you about this because we met before, and I like lived by you. And he's like, what are you talking about? And when we moved there, we would take our son around the block because he was just born. And like I knew the first day we went on a walk, and like all day Anthony lives there, and she's like,
because
what?
of the cars.
Yeah, so I show her and you look at his YouTube. I mean, it's just crazy. His following on Instagram, it's so cool, right? Yeah. And I remember I was doing a $50 job for my brother-in-law. He had a Lexus he was trying to sell, and it was riddled with sap. And I didn't have what's T? Is it TEA by
I can't pronounce the whole thing.
Right. Yeah, so I was using Ulix, which I don't know if I should be using that on the paint. I'm on the roof taking off sap for like hours of Ulix. Dang. And Anthony comes walking by with this big German Shepherd. He's like, hey, is this your dog? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's my neighbor's. and the front door was open. It looked like a murder scene because someone left the front door
The
open.
dog got out.
And he's like, I'm letting this dog in. There's a cat in there, and I don't care. And he throws the door and like throws the dog in, slams the door. And he's like, see it. And I'm like, see it. I couldn't get myself to say, you know, hey, I know you, because it felt weird. I'd lived by him for a year.
Story.
You know, so, but I remember we'd go on walks almost every day, and we'd take the same loop, and all the cars he had out there.
That's
it was just so dang cool. Like,
That's awesome.
So that was the day that we got to talk, and it's just cool to look back, and they're all so genuine. That's the best thing of it all. It's just how genuine everyone is. You know, you look at someone like Anthony and how down to earth he is. It's been such a cool experience. So.
Yep. It's not. I know there's like other programs out there that people have told me like, oh, there's pressure. Like you know, there's a schedule I need to stick to or whatever. Like there's zero of that. You know, like if you haven't posted in a few weeks, you might get a message like, hey, is everything okay? But like, there's no like, hey, you missed your thing today. You're cut. Which I just think is great. It makes it not like, as much as I complain and say, dude, creating content sucks sometimes and it feels like a job. Like they make it not feel like it's anything extra, which I appreciate, because we all have a lot on our plate. We don't need to take on something else that's just going to stress us out. So I can't say enough good things about the people there.
I think what helps all of that too is that with other sponsorship programs is that, yes, you can get it set up with like an affiliate code and get a kickback. But, you know, full disclosure with the TRC one is that, yes, we had an affiliate code for ourselves and for our followers, but we never made any money off of those. You know, there was no kickback. There was no PayPal.
No
there was
commissions.
nothing, which I think was almost better in a sense that, but then you have people like, why would you do this and not make any money? It's like, it's not really the point. It's, you know, yes, you have your eye on the prize at the end for the grand prize, if you will,
but it's spreading the gospel.
It's spreading the gospel of premium microfiber.
Exactly.
Baby. And just being, it's just the people. Because I mean, if you're in it for monetary gain, I think there's just kind of an inorganic competition that, you know, is just not needed. But it's just, I'm sure with you guys, you had kind of each other posting, and, you know, that would just push you to do better. And it's like, hey, like, you know, what you think is good, and then you see someone do that, it's like, hey, we're doing like collabs and things like that. I think are just awesome. There's tons of opportunity for that. And it's just such a good time. And I think if you can look past, but I think that's also part of their vetting process, is they can pick the right kind of people that won't kind of jerk you around and just will treat you right. And yes, there's the bad apples that, you know, post absolutely nothing. And, you know, that kind of stuff hits home for me. It really bothers me, because I'm like, I've been treated so darn well from them that they get all this, you know, this stuff and all this support just to be ignored. And it is frustrating.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I want to also add, the brand partners that come together and like support you is amazing. Like this is embarrassing. I've never met Sydney, and we live in the same, we're like probably 20 minutes from each other, right? But for her to reach out and just be like, hey, I want you to try some stuff out before we release it, you know? That was the coolest thing. And then to have,
you're part of that club too? That's awesome.
It's really, really cool.
Don't
and then like well, like, and then like someone like Jack, like I don't know why he was able to respond. Well, here's the reason why. I did an unboxing of a bunch of Starglass products, and I was taking them up to Montana to wash my family's cars. And I was trying to figure out a sealant that I can put on frozen paint. And he responds like, please do not put, what is it? What's their sealant on? Yeah, don't put Parla on the frozen. I'm like, dude, Jack responded to me. Like, that's all I got from that. But that was cool just to see the interactions with the different partners. And I said it in my, I think I said it in my outro video, but like, they pick their partners for a reason, very specifically. And that's super cool to see the support across the board. It's not just the rag company that you get into. That's something that Eric and Geeky said on their live they did today, that it's not just about, you know, rags. It's the network that the rag company has specifically put together for their brand. So
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
and nearly, at least in my experience, it seems like all of these brand partners share the same values that the rag company does.
Yeah.
And it all just feels so seamless across the board. Like it's like the treatment I know I'm going to get at the rag company. I know I'm also going to get it from their brand partners.
Yeah. And that's super true. And I mean, again, just having Sydney in your backyard, I mean, holy moly, that's just nuts. But again, just bouncing ideas off of Hunter, who now is also working with KCX.
Yep.
And, again, this ties back to this Grambassador program. They're taking a sponsorship, for those that don't know, is such a gateway to these opportunities, because there's so many people that have got jobs from these. And I mean, the first year they did the Zaya, he started this massive shop in Las Vegas, and they were able to kickstart him. And just with Rupes helping out, I mean, now with Armor Detail Supply, you got Bradley and DJ, and they're just phenomenal human beings. I mean, PNS, I mean, you have Jack messaging you back at 2 a.m. because of the time change,
yelling at you to not use Parla.
Exactly.
What more could you want?
Like, I would love to get yelled at like that.
Yes.
I mean, just with Chris at G Technic, and even just Andrew at Koshemi as well. I mean, those guys, and just like the list goes on and on and on to get the support. And I don't know. There's just not enough good things to say about it.
Yeah, that's so true.
So
yeah.
Well, we're approaching, or we've exceeded our hour mark, but I see at least one question for Brandon in here. If you guys want to get any like last minute questions in about any of his story that he's told, but David Boyce wants to know, what's your favorite glass cleaner?
Ooh.
Oh, baby, here we go. Right now it's TrueView.
TrueView's so good. I slept on it for a while.
I'm still sleeping on it.
Yeah, you got to try it. Don't put it all in a bottle if you're using the concentrate.
No, I've got that 4-to-1. So you're using that thing straight?
I did my first time, and I was like, what is going on with this stuff? I felt like I was just breathing in alkali wheel cleaner. I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But it's TrueView. It's TrueView, and I've gone back and forth with all the towels. If you use a dry me a river enough, it starts to lint. I like that waffle weave on glass, so I find myself always coming back to the blue FTW. So
I like that you said blue too. You are respectful of
that's
color
for you,
blue. Thank you. Like
the orange
here, full circle, right to jail, right? Like no blue, right to jail.
The blue one is clear. Okay.
Glass. Only.
Blue is for glass. The orange is for bead maker.
Yeah.
The pink
is for Dreammaker or other miscellaneous seal. You know what? I'll use orange if I'm not using bead. But as long as it's in the same family as bead maker, because I want to know what's in my towels so that I can unclog them if they become clogged. But yeah,
I hear you.
TrueView, good.
That's it. I will say, I do want to try Traceless by Bill Camber. Clean Garage, I don't know if I can say Clean Garage. Clean Garage carried Bill Camber for a while there. But they stopped, I think, and now Obsessed Garage picked it up. I haven't used it. I actually heard about Traceless a couple years ago from Forensic Detailing on YouTube. Forensic Detailing, he's freaking amazing. And he was just raving about how this glass cleaner does some weird stuff. I don't know what more glass cleaner can do that TrueView can't, but might have to try it out.
Well, I did use the Detail Co. aerosol Stoner collab one, and just like that is like a nuke for glass. Like I cleaned my bathroom mirrors with it and like gassed myself out, and it's a strong cleaner. But
it passed out the bathroom.
Like it just, you knew that surface was like spotless when you were done. It's a good one. But TrueView is is my go-to.
Hot take. I don't like aerosols just because of the overspray. So that's I'm very opinionated. I'm trying to be careful with all my words.
That's okay.
So
that's all right.
That's okay.
Nothing wrong with that. I bought the 4-pack of invisible glass at the aerosol at Costco years ago, and
still have it.
Still have it. I can't get through it fast enough. So it's
I do prefer the aerosol
Right.
invisible glass compared to the spray.
Yeah.
It's probably the same, and it's probably a placebo, but I prefer it. So,
But if anyone wants to try Traceless, we do have a giveaway going on that we're going to sort ourselves out. Two
We will
Obsessed
figure that
Garage for the Americans that can pick it up, and if you are in Canada, Carzilla also does have Traceless. That I know. If you're timid, I don't think you should look at the SDS sheet for Traceless, because it will knock your absolute socks off. But sometimes,
and I have seen some people spray it like on the interior windshield, but not clean up the any overspray on the dash, and then I don't know, it catches fire and explodes or something.
I personally,
I'm kidding. That's not true. Don't sue me.
The Stoner Car Care Easy Reach glass tool or Easy Clean is by far my favorite tool, because I'm a bigger guy, obviously, and I don't contort well cleaning inside of a windshield. And that thing is just great. But also Sydney's methods of using an applicator on the glass, and just doing the box method, if you will. But I mean, glass.
I knew somebody lit it on fire. I knew I remembered somebody lit Traceless on fire.
Oh, that's great.
Do we any last questions, guys?
A lot of people giving their thoughts on glass cleaners. I don't mind cleaning glass, but I find myself not even using a glass cleaner dedicated a lot of the time, because if I'm doing a rinseless or even just my last step product, that's usually enough on the outside, because if I'm just doing an exterior, I'm not going to do the inside of the glass.
Yep. And especially on your own vehicles.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not really using glass cleaners.
No. And I mean, I remember my sister, when she was visiting a month or so ago, because she always struggles with like cleaning glass, and JB would fall asleep before he made it. Oh my goodness!
Jeff and I have already spoken. No, there's no bad blood between Jeff and
I. But I told my sister, I said, when I'm cleaning the inside of a windshield, I always go vertical, and then on the outside, I always go horizontal, so that if I see streaks, I know where they are. Yep. And that just blew her mind. She's like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense."
Well, I'm learning something today.
I blew Brandon's mind too.
Oh my god!
Interior for me is more just like every which way, because let's be honest, we sometimes have to contort. But as long as the outside is some type of structure to it, then I can tell which side's dirty.
Because right now, like if you're driving it, because the sun goes down before anything. So like the 3:30, 4 o'clock around where I am, when you're going straight into that sun, it's absolutely brutal. And I think too is, if you can get really good at like windshields, like I'm not going to say make a windshield cleaning like a dedicated service, but I see so many people driving around that, will always hit the brakes driving into the sun. I'm like, hey, if you just clean the inside of your windshield and, wear these glasses for the sun, called sunglasses, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yep.
But like I'll be beside cars and it's just handprints and off gassing and just disgusting.
If we have guests come over and like I happen to see the state of their windshield or their glass, I'll be like, hey, is it cool if I go clean your glass for you? Like, I feel like you'd be a little bit safer driving home if you let me do this.
Well, we had some family that had like one of those suction cup phone mounts.
Yeah.
Like you put it in a windshield, but you know how like the sticky part's designed for the dash? Well, they put the sticky on the windshield.
On the glass.
And so when the heat hit it, it melted it, obviously, because it gets to, 1,000,000 degrees there. But it literally like drooped down, like it just left a massive line of goop of this sticky stuff, and I literally had to use a razor blade and Ulex to get it off. But I had all the doors open, a mask on, the whole nine, and I was still like, because that's using Ulex inside, but I had towels on the dash and like was super careful with it, and I'm like, this is never happening. And then I scrubbed the ever living snot out of the windshield when I was done.
I have my big black influencer drying towel that
Anthony's favorite
that it actually, so I was working on my buddy's truck and I told him, I said, all right, now back it in or whatever. Like, and I forgot the drying towel was on the back of the truck and it fell on the street. So I was like, okay, this is never touching paint again.
No loss.
But I use it for the interior now. I put it across the dash so that like nothing gets oversprayed on it while I'm working on something. So you don't have to throw your towels out.
Steve Person, I'm with you. Do I use a glass cleaner? I like to use Adapt. So a waterless wash for.
I just checked the PNS website. It's not up yet, but they did say the first week or so of January. But Reflect is a really, really nice glass cleaner, interior and exterior.
I know Defender's popular on glass as well.
Yes. It feels like TrueView had a baby with Defender, and it allows you to just clean all your glass and protect all your glass without any issues. That's my experience. So hopefully that comes out next week. I just checked. It's not there yet. But anything else? I want to respect everyone's time.
Yeah.
So
you guys are free agents now. It's
take a deep breath.
It's in the hands of the TRC lore. And speaking, okay. Remember how you guys mentioned about being nervous or being surprised when you got a response? Chromatic Garage. First time I had a reply from him, I'm like, oh baby,
same. And now we talk like every day. Is it easier or harder to use than Stout? So he knows my journey that I alluded to at the beginning of this podcast, but I polished that Mini. If you guys got a couple minutes, I polished the Mini. I jeweled the Mini over the course of like a few days. Like it was no big deal, just in my spare time. And then I went to put Stout on, and I was like, "Wow, this is an amazing coating." It feels like almost like, you know, I put vegetable oil under my glove and touch the paint. It has this like very unique feeling. But when I did my final inspection, I was getting streaks and high spots and just unevenness everywhere. That like I split a panel. I could see that they were two different shades, and it just wasn't. It was my first like defeat by a coating, other than my OP Pro falling off. But this was my first like challenging. Yeah, this is my first like challenging experience that I felt defeated by. So I didn't even touch the car for like 2 days, and then I just polished it all off. I kept finding more and more, and I'm not saying it's a bad product. I'm just saying it wasn't great in my conditions. I will try it again, but it wasn't great in my current conditions, I guess.
That's good to know. It's gonna go on my wife's RAV, so.
Yeah, just pay attention. Like no more than 30-second flash time, but I think in my case it would have been like apply and wipe.
I mean, Brandon's got Sydney. She can just come over.
Yeah, Sydney will just do it for you.
Like I'll put my chair up and just. All right.
There's a collab for you. Just drive up to Sydney's and you got a little video in the Teal garage.
It's like Sydney do a panel, and then I'll do a panel, and then if I screw up, you can tell me what I did wrong and get feedback. So.
But I'm not scared. I'm not scared of Stout. It hasn't like scared me away from it. But that was just my initial experience with it. So, but other people have had great experiences with it. So your mileage may vary.
No.
Very cool. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brandon.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for spending your Friday. There'd be a million other places on a Friday at 5:00, but you hung out with the homies for a little bit, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. No problem. This is awesome. Thanks for having me on. I love you guys. You guys are so fun. I'm so excited for you guys to come. Yeah. Boise. Let's go.
Yes. I'm excited
I will see you regardless.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's ever been so happy for a potential April Fool's meeting than we're about to,
I didn't even think about a prank possibly being pulled.
Yeah.
So, I swear that better not be the case.
Yeah.
We're actually not the halftime host. Wow, this is funny.
Yeah, we're actually just the host. They're going to do halftime. So
throw us to the wolves.
But yeah, no, Brandon, appreciate the time. Yep.
Yeah.
So where can our wonderful guests find you?
Oh, geez. Yeah. Purdy Auto Pros on Instagram, YouTube. We're going to try to get back up with it. I do uncut. I don't cut anything. The reason I do uncut is because I'm too lazy to edit. But I'm going to start editing. So it's usually pretty long-winded. I think I coded an entire car on my YouTube. So go check that out. It's a 2-hour video.
Nice.
So
is that also Purdy Auto Pros for everyone?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. So we'll put some
easy
more
to
content
find
out. I'm gonna try to. I need to. I'm not gonna post for a while on Instagram. I need to relax. I have
Yeah.
2024 Tacoma, my neighbor's Tacoma, sitting in my garage. I cannot wait to clean that and coat it without a camera rolling. It's gonna be
Yeah.
really nice to just. Hey, there you go, Taylor. Thank you.
There we go. Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Taylor.
Yeah, she even said she's like, we're gonna coat that truck tomorrow, right? I'm like, yes, yeah.
Heck yeah. Heck
Nice.
yeah.
So you're taking a little social break?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've been
I'm
thinking
not.
about it.
I think I'll probably be. I want to be on and like putting stories up, but I don't think I'm gonna edit a reel for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to just kind of. I like taking photos of all my clients' cars, and that was part of the thing that I really loved, and I'm glad I'm able to get back into that and kind of cater to my clients because they like seeing that stuff too. But we'll have a reel maybe once a month, maybe
Awesome.
once every couple of weeks. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a
You
break.
don't want to burn out, right? You want to keep this fun. You don't want to hate the process.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
That's right.
Awesome.
sure. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you again, Brandon. I had an
Yeah.
excellent conversation with you. Alex and I want to hopefully get maybe a few more Grambassadors who have gone through the program to chat with. We just think like everyone's got a unique story, and
Totally.
not enough of us know about everyone's background. So that would be that's hopefully the plan for the coming weeks. Got anything on the way out, Alex?
No, that's it. Just everybody make sure you like and subscribe if you're in for the long haul. To you can find me at Bucky BW. You can find Joey at Jay Belinsky, and follow the Detail Grind podcast, and follow
Share it.
Purdy, and
Share it with a friend.
And a quick plug to our great friends that we've been talking about for the last hour and 16 minutes. The Right Company does a free educational Q&A every Thursday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time on their YouTube channel. Do watch it. You can ask any question you want. Uncomfortable.
They will
or not.
answer. They will show every comment on that screen. Just
They will. Be careful.
be careful what you ask.
Just, just if you ask them to get shadow banned, that's a you problem. And but usually everything's fair game. So I encourage you guys all to do that and check out our channels, and definitely do not hesitate to reach out to any of us if you are interested in participating in the Right Company Grambassador program. I know T125.
We're not celebrities. We don't bite. We will answer what we can.
I do know that the T1 entries are closed now. But once we get, it's probably going to be right around TRCMA when the next quarter opens, or the next trimester, opens. And certainly don't hesitate to ask any one of us about our experience of anything you didn't catch in today's show.
And with that, we're out. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Peace
Bye,
out.
everyone.